What are you guys doing?
Looking for bugs.
Looking for bugs. Has anybody found anything yet? That's the thing. No,
Yeah,
you're pretty.
I found something.
You did? Wow! Check this out. That's beautiful. Look at that thing. You see that?
That's ugly.
Oh, I love this. Anybody know what that is? Huh? It's yeah, there's a lot of protein in it. It looks like a little bit like a caterpillar. This right here is called a grub. And a grub is pretty interesting because it has a very fascinating life cycle where they're actually typically moths. You see those gray moths that are flying around? Well, what they do is they fly around. Come on, let's fly. We're moths. You guys like, no. Okay, so you see the moth, what it'll do, it'll lay its eggs inside of the ground, and then these come out. Well, they lay their little eggs, they pupate, they end up becoming these worms. These things right here will eat grass, they'll find the plants, they'll eat the vegetables. Some of them will get more aggressive depending on the type they are, and they actually come out of the ground and they'll actually saw off all of the vegetable off of there. So it's really a nasty kind of a bug. And then we'll pupate just like a butterfly does, and then it'll start the whole cycle over again. So yeah, it opened up. Look at that thing. It's going to town. Isn't that a beautiful thing? You know what? I think it's coming after you because you took it out of its home. It's a bad thing. Okay, now how do you think we can really do something with this? And this is kind of gross what I'm going to teach you. This right here is going to be called bug juice. Bug juice is really kind of cool. If you were to get 4 or 5 of these things and you were to take them and put them into a blender, you add about a cup of water, and then you hit the puree, right? After all the screaming goes on and stuff like that, then you take it and then you take and you put it into something like this or something like this. You have to strain the body parts out because there will be body parts. Then what will happen is that you can spray the areas where you had found the bugs and the insects. And what happens is that a natural scent comes off of these things. There's something that's called a pheromone, which attracts insects. Well, this right here is a warning scent. I mean, the second that you took and you picked that up, right away, it sent off a scent that said, hey, wait a minute, what's going on over here? And it's telling all the other insects that there's a problem. So by taking and pureeing these things, you can do something like that. But you wanna know something? There's more than just insects that are in the yard and garden. And we could control and take care of these things really naturally as possible. So slugs and snails, we've seen them before, right? They have their little houses that they bring with them. Slugs don't have that. They have a tendency for eating all our vegetables. In fact, they'll make little holes like you see right in here. See these holes right here? Sometimes those are done from snails, right there. So when you have a situation like that, you can take something like this, and this right here is iron phosphate. Iron phosphate is kind of like a fertilizer. That's really what it is. But what they've done is that they make it like spaghetti when it comes out of this machine, like spaghetti, and then they chop it up into these little tiny things. And you guys could pass that around and look at it. And that's animal safe. If you were to put this in your yard and garden, the snails get attracted to it, and then they end up eating it all up, and then the snails end up dying. So that's one kind of pest that would be also in the problem. Sometimes we don't think about it, but how about gophers? You ever see gophers before? Yeah, gophers a big problem. Now I know you guys were monkeying around with this thing a little bit earlier. This right here is a way or a contraption for taking gophers and showing how to, what do you call it, when scaring them off. What you would do is that you would put this in the ground, and it's solar. You take this off this little piece of paper right here, and it's solar powered. The sun's gonna hit it, and there's batteries inside, and then when you push this button, every 28 seconds, you're gonna hear that sound. And when you hear that sound, what it's doing is sending vibrations in the soil, makes it uncomfortable in the ground for the gophers to live. So that's kind of a fun thing as well. Now, you could also make your own homemade concoctions. And one of the best things that any gardener can have is, here, what do you think that is?
Orange.
Lemon. This right here is lemon scented dish soap. If you were to take and put a little bit of dish soap in some water right here, Put in dish soap, just a little bit. And there you go. And then if you were to take this and you were to mix it up like this, make some bubbles, that's just fine. Take it and then pour it inside to something like this. Then what you do, you can take and spray your plants and you'd be surprised. This right here will smother all kinds of insects. And the worst that happens is that you're putting soap onto your plants. Is that awesome or what?
That's cool.
That is cool.